Welcome to the Digging into CAP Stage 2 and 3 webinar. Stage 1 of CAP helps us identify the desired results for a unit through knows, understands, do's, and essential questions. Stage 2 is the assessment evidence, and Stage 3 involves the design of the learning plan. We will go into detail about Stage 2 and Stage 3 in this webinar. Stage 2 focuses on evidence of learning by assessment. Multiple forms of evidence of understanding is planned for and gathered in a unit of study. Performance tasks are real-life application tasks and projects that yield one or more tangible products and performances. Other evidence includes all other forms of assessment that allow teachers to create a body of evidence of student understanding. Assessment should be ongoing and varied. There should be a balance of different types of assessments. The range of assessment tasks and performances selected must support students in developing understanding of the content in units and give students opportunities to demonstrate that understanding. The tasks must also identify and differentiate levels or degrees of understanding. To find your Stage 2 documents, go to Blackboard, then Secondary Math, then your grade level, and then your unit of study. Look for the document titled Stage 2 and 3. The view on the slide is called the thumbnail view, which has a picture of the PDF icon. On your computer, it may appear in list form. Currently, Jeffco Math Stage 2 documents do not contain examples of performance tasks. Performance tasks are a work in progress as we gain a deeper understanding of the new Common Core standards. Other assessment evidence includes critical intervention item banks, which are a collection of tasks that are intended to be used one at a time for formative assessment and to determine what types of small group intervention may be needed. Other evidence also includes common unit assessments that have been built as a component of the Middle School Math Initiative. Each unit assessment balances the number of questions that are depth of knowledge 1, 2, and 3, along with balancing the type of problem, including constructed response, short answer, and multiple choice. These assessments were created to assess the concepts and mathematical skills of the unit at the appropriate level of rigor. 3 forms of the assessment are present in Stage 2. The Unit Summative Assessment, DOK, Depth of Knowledge, is the document that includes the assessment items and the corresponding standards associated with each assessment item, plus the depth of knowledge of each item. Also, you'll find this Unit Summative Assessment Grading Rubric, which outlines point values for each question, the correct answers, and the work students must demonstrate. Finally, you will find the Unit Summative Assessment Student Form, which is simply the student form of the assessment. As additional assessment items are created, they will be updated into CAP. Now on to Stage 3. Stage 3 focuses on supporting teachers in planning learning experiences and instruction. Teachers use Stage 3 to think through and finalize a plan for the sequence and types of learning activities which they will use in the unit to help students reach the desired results. There are 3 components in Stage 3 that you can see on the slide. The unit considerations are things to read before you start planning the unit. Instructional resources and practices are things to help support you in the design of effective math instruction in any unit. And the unit-specific materials are possible activities and tasks to use within this particular unit that you're looking at. The TCAP considerations are provided as a unit consideration. A brief description is given that you can see in the oval, and then a link is provided to the document. When you click on the Google link, the document will appear. You will need to download the document to your computer so that all the formatting in the document is correct. Here is an example of the 8th grade function unit TCAP considerations. The TCAP considerations provide a list of standards that are not included in the current grade level CAP documents because they are now taught at prior grade levels. The notation in parentheses after each standard tells the grade level. For example, CCSS 6EE is Common Core State Standards 6th grade. Levels of priority, high, medium, and low, were determined based on the 2012 Jeffco TCAP data. The purpose of listing previous and TCAP content is not for reteaching, but rather for review and integration into grade level content in the unit of study. Also included in the unit considerations are the mathematical practices to emphasize in the unit. There are 8 standards for mathematical practice which are identified in Common Core. These standards identify the processes that math educators at all levels should seek to develop in their students. Each unit will have 1 or 2 mathematical practices to emphasize in that particular unit of study. Here's an example of the math practice Problem Solvers Model with Mathematics. This document identifies what teachers and students will be doing to develop the identified practice, along with the characteristics of the math classroom environment which supports the development of this practice. The final component of unit considerations are examples of how one might bundle or group the content in a unit of study. Grouping content prior to instruction helps teachers build their thinking about how the content of the unit is connected, thus providing a conceptual approach to the content in the unit. The second category in Stage 3, Instructional Resources and Practices, provides materials which support the design of effective math instruction in any unit. The best practices are 10 classroom practices such as small group instruction and focusing on meaning, which provide guidelines for effective classroom instruction. Also included is a complete set of the 8th mathematical practices that have been divided up between the units of study. The PBS online questions help teachers check student progress and promote problem solving and reasoning in classrooms. Here is an example of the secondary frameworks for math instruction and the secondary instructional day model. These are both very helpful for providing the structure for the types of lesson a teacher might include: discovery, direct, or problem solving, and also the instructional day model helps with how the class period time is used. The last component of Stage 3 is the unit-specific materials, which are possible activities and tasks to use within the unit. This selection of materials is meant to help teachers have some possible lessons if they're not finding what they need in their resources. If you have any questions in regards to this content, please contact Ann Shoemaker at 982-8990 or Kathy Osadnik at 982-4981.